Hello, this is Patrick Halladay from the Vermont Agency of Education. We thank you for your interest in the Vermont State Plan for the Every Student Succeeds Act. This is the first of 4 sub-presentations that go into greater detail on some of the details of the accountability system. Please remember that this and all presentations are intended to provide a brief orientation to the section. We do welcome your public comment. However, if you're interested in providing public comment, we strongly encourage you to read the entirety of the student groups and end size section to understand the full detail of the decisions outlined in this presentation. In this presentation, we're going to be considering the student groups included in accountability determinations. In the second half, we'll look at the determination of the minimum end size. There's an important distinction between reporting and accountability data. For reporting, student group data is reported to the United States Department of Education. However, for accountability, student group data is reported and also used as part of making an accountability determination for a school. Not all group data and not all groups are used for accountability. There are several student groups that must be used for accountability determinations: certain ethnic and racial categories, English learners, students who are living in poverty, qualifying for free and reduced lunch is how we determine that in Vermont, and students with disabilities. Vermont has decided to identify 2 additional groups in our state. One are historically marginalized students, and the second are historically privileged students. And this is to track our success at reducing equity gaps between those who are historically marginalized and historically privileged. This becomes important to do in Vermont because of our large number of schools that have very small populations. Many of the subcategories identified in the previous slide do not reach the minimum N, which we'll talk about in a second. However, when we aggregate students based on historically marginalized or privileged status, we're able to have a better able to make those comparisons. N size refers to the number of students we need in a particular category before we can start to use those categories for accountability. Vermont presents a particular challenge because of the number of schools who have low student population. We want an N size to be high enough to be statistically reliable and also make sure that we don't identify individual students in our reporting. But we also want an N size to be low enough to hold Vermont's many small schools accountable. One way we're proposing addressing this challenge is by the creation of a 2-tiered system of accountability. For the first tier, we're looking just at schools, and you have to have 25 students in any of the student groups identified in order to be considered for accountability determinations. That means 25 students who are English learners, 25 students who are students with disabilities, in order to be considered in those accountability determinations. However, many Vermont schools don't have 25 students that meet each of those different groups, and so we're suggesting a second tier looking at the supervisory union or district level. For that, we're saying the same as the school level, except we're moving it up a level to suggest that we identify 25 unique students across the entirety of the supervisory union or district. And when combined with the addition of the historically marginalized student group, this allows for accountability determinations and the possibility of continuous improvement supports in nearly all of Vermont's education systems. Again, my name is Patrick Halladay. Please feel free to contact me via email or telephone, or my colleague Chris Case. We appreciate your interest in the Every Student Succeeds Act and look forward to reviewing your public comment.